Hello, Learn 11 class. Welcome to week 5 video check-in. Um, this check-in video, I want to spend a little bit of time on the 32-day commitment because I have noticed that I'm getting a lot of questions. So let me just clarify. I'm going to share my screen with our Canvas homepage just to show you a couple things. Okay, so to begin with, I am posting, if you're watching this video, you're finding them in the announcements. In the announcements, I have DLA deadlines. I've got really this is where I'm leaving my tips for you guys. And hopefully you're watching the videos all the way through because I'm noticing I'm getting questions or work that can't be graded fully because the instructions aren't being followed, small details. And in these videos, I do a lot of reminders as well as in the announcements, just reminding you. I will send out emails, but if it's something that will be helpful all semester long, I just put it in the announcements, okay? So please be aware to listen to everything, to listen to all the details, and to read closely. And then the 32-day assignment sheet so that you can read the guidelines. If you're doing every assignment in order of when they're assigned, for instance, let's come down to week 4. If you went through each one of these tabs before completing the week, you'll notice that you're going to get to the 32-day writing assignment guidelines. When you click on this, it will download, I believe, into the Word document, sorry, if you want. I think I didn't do the paper, so to go paperless, it's all here, sorry. But the 32-day checklist that you will need for this assignment is here, so you can click on it, okay? You will need this checklist, the paper checklist, and you'll need to upload this either as a photo or by scanning it. So there will be multiple parts to this assignment. There's the written portion, and then there's this checklist, okay? That needs to be uploaded, and you can upload here. So please pay attention to these guidelines very carefully. Some of you may be a little bit short on that 32-day, or you might be writing the assignment right as you're finishing. That's because your 32-day commitment needed to be approved by me to make sure that it is following those guidelines. I absolutely will not set you up for failure. So some of the details that I wanted to go over here for some of you that I'm noticing is that some of you might be choosing a commitment that is very multi-layered. You're adding in new things every week, or it's just vague. So it remains really big to accomplish. And this is just something that we notice with goal setting with students. We can notice it in our own lives. It's really a cultural thing. In our culture, we very much appreciate and admire ambition and going big and doing it all very quickly and perfectly. And I'm here to tell you, in the working world, anybody who has children, anybody who has to take their time getting anything done and doing it well can tell you. I mean, getting through grad school, I'm telling you that we start small. We start small and we add over time. And 32 days is not necessarily enough time to start adding because we haven't perfected quite yet. So, everyone's at a different pace, so I can't say that that isn't true for everybody, but I really, really, really want you to choose something very small that you can focus on for 32 days. Believe me, the small thing gets challenging. It gets challenging with time. There are some days where you're squeezing in that one action that only takes 5 minutes, because in our minds, we think, I can't add anymore. I really, especially if we're stressed or overwhelmed, trying to get homework done, the last thing we want to do is go make our bed. Okay, because we think that has nothing to do with everything else. It has everything to do with prioritizing, has everything to do with managing stress, with managing time. So this is a skill. And so I want you to choose something small for those days where your energy is low, your attitude is off, you have a lot on your plate. These are really normal human things to experience. To have a bad mood one day or 2 days in a row, or to feel depression for a week or two, this is really normal. Our bodies are made up of hormones. When we don't get the right nutrients, when we don't get the sleep we need because we've had a stressful week, this is normal. What we're learning to do is to find our balance, to balance ourselves out, and to stay with our priorities, to manage the smallest baby steps, not to look at the big picture when we're overwhelmed, but to look at those steps one at a time when we're overwhelmed. When we're not overwhelmed and we're feeling great, this is a great time to look at big picture and to manage, the whole thing. That's why I say, I'm in this lecture, in this week's lecture, if you listen, I do talk about having Sundays or having a day or a half a day that just belongs to you, where you don't have to answer text messages or emails, where you don't do homework, where you don't have to do anything but what feels comforting and energizing for you to restore yourself. And on those days, those are days that I like to spend, time cleaning or organizing or going meal prepping, or I don't even have to do the cooking, but just getting all of the ingredients makes me feel energized because I've done something big for the big picture that I have energy for, because I'm not doing all the smaller detailed things. Okay, so everybody's going to have a different method of organizing themselves, but I'm only putting this out there for you to choose from and to make choices that feel right for you, because absolutely it will set you up for success. So please consider starting small. Rather than having an hour workout every day, tell yourself you'll do 20 minutes. Anything above 20 minutes is added bonus. That's wonderful. You can pat yourself on the back, reward yourself. But start small and keep small. And after 32 days, if you've done a wonderful job with that small task every day, then you can add something on top of it. This is where I'll tell you what my 32-day commitment is. My 32-day commitment is to floss my teeth every day and to floss at least once. If I can floss twice a day, that's fantastic. If I get up to 3, that's wonderful, but a minimum of 1 time a day. And that's because that is something that has fallen out of my routine, and it feels really, really important. Even though it's a small detail, it feels important to the larger picture of my overall health. One commitment I did that I was encouraged to do from a therapist of mine maybe 7 years ago that felt really aligned for me and changed my world was making my bed every day. If you're not a bed maker, this is a really great thing to practice. I thought she was bonkers for suggesting it to me. And I thought, I'm already stressed. I'm going to get back into my bed later. Why do I have to make my bed? I was not a bed maker until almost 30 years old, just about 30 years old. So what it did, though, was it restructured my day. It gave me a ritual and a routine every morning. I didn't feel someone with ADD, I have ADD and ADHD. It's difficult to leave the house because I'm going from room to room. And making my bed really anchored me. If I had a clean bed, I could pile everything from all the rooms that I needed into one place before I could leave the house, which is huge because before this, I would just go from room to room looking for things that I needed and forgetting a lot of important details. So the bed became a place for me that was clean and organized to bring all of my things to. And I don't know that that will do that for you, but for me, coming home to a bed that was made and organized also gave me a chance to feel like I got to start again and starting my day, and then coming home and then winding was really important to my routine and my time management, especially for the ADD symptoms that I was experiencing. Okay. Remember that the 32-day commitment is connected to the goals lesson. And in watching that lecture and doing the notes and the handouts that go along with it, you'll notice that setting goals, first figuring out what those goals are, we need to be really specific and detailed. We need to choose things that are achievable in the amount of time that we have and the amount of energy and skill level that we have. And so this is, and by being specific, it means taking it out of our heads and putting it into the world. Asking the 5Ws, 1H questions help us to get it out of concept and abstract place where I'm going to think something or I'm going to feel something, or when hypothetical, when this happens, then, or if this happens, then I will do this. That's all hypothetical. It's all very conceptual. But we want to take those ideas and put them into action and into the world and start looking at how we can plan and organize the steps to attain those goals. So we really want to put it into action. And we want to start looking at the real people who will be involved and the real places that we need to investigate and we need to go out and explore. We need to look at what we can do every single day to take a step closer. And it's not in the mind, it's in the body. We need to get out of the heads and into the body. This is really, really important. So what can you do with your body and in the amount of time you have to help yourself get closer to something? This is a different way of looking or approaching success, because we stay in the mind so often, especially in academia and higher ed. We do a lot of reading, we do a lot of thinking and writing. But to be successful, it really means to hit the pavement and go out there and to talk to people and to do things and to get things done, to cross things off a list that need to get done, okay? So this 32-day commitment is in that, it's in that kind of realm. So you're actually practicing what we talked about in the goal lesson. And so you'll be practicing it for 32 days. This is a practical portion of that lesson. For those of you who needed to revise your 32-day commitments, please do those ASAP. You can do this by going to the assignment itself. Let's see, it's going to look different for you because I'm in the teacher mode, but the steps are the same. You will go to your 32-day commitment, to what you posted, and you will click on the reply, because I have, let's see. No, let's see if okay, that is not where you see it. I am so sorry. Okay, again, it's different between the student and teacher. I'm still learning this stuff. Let's see. Okay, I have commented on every single one of you may have to go into the assignment in the grade book where your grade is and click on the comments there, because I've left you all comments, whether I've said, great, get started, or I have, and I don't want to go into the grades because I don't want to show you everybody's grade. There's no way for me to do it. to not show you everybody's grades, but you can go in and look at your own grade, read the comment. Some of you I've said, great, go ahead and get started. And some of you I've said, here's some suggestions for how to revise your commitment. Please reshare your new commitment, and then I'll give you the go ahead. And actually, once you've revised it, you can go ahead and get started. If I leave you another comment, please keep checking. If I leave you another comment, then that's to help you in the long run, so that when you're doing your reflection portion, it's very specific, and your checklist, whether or not you've completed something, that it's really easy for you. I'm trying to make this easier for you than more difficult for you later on down the road. Okay. The last thing is, for those of you, or not the last thing, there's a couple things. For those of you who were unable to complete your LTM because you're having problems logging in, I have reached out to the MDSC to find out if there is a different login now that they've upgraded their subscription. I wasn't told that there was a new login, so I've reached out. I'm waiting to hear a response, so hold tight for that response. In the meantime, keep trying to complete your LTM. Because you really want to get that instructor conference completed. Those of you who haven't done your instructor conference, I've sent you an email to let you know that when the deadline is, and that I need to have you scheduled before October 15th, because once October 15th hits, I'm no longer doing instructor conferences. The deadline is October 15th because your DLA 1 deadline is shortly after that. The chat here on Canvas is a great place for you all to answer each other's questions, to communicate with one another. It seems that Regina and Jesus and I are the only people who are talking to one another, so I would very much love to see some of your participation here in chatting with each other. The discussion board forum posts are supposed to be a place for you to communicate with one another as well, but I notice that there isn't much of that going on either. So please understand that you and I are not the only people in this class, that part of your participation grade is speaking with other students and forming supportive, encouraging relationships with them as well, and learning from one another. It puts a lot of pressure on me to answer 32 emails about when DLA deadlines are, when a student who has read my email knows exactly where that information is and can help you. So please help one another. Part of this class is working as a group, and I'm part of that group as well. So I'm here to answer, a question once or twice, and then the rest of you, can help each other out after that. That is part of good, I shouldn't say good, that is part of strong student success. Believe me, in graduate school, there are many times that my instructors were nowhere to be found, and my classmates and I relied heavily on one another to gather the information we needed and to help each other study in ways that an instructor couldn't do for us anyway. So please, I know you're shy. I know it's difficult to get a conversation going, but part of success is having those communication skills and the courage to do it. It will lend itself to you in your success later on. I promise. Okay. Jesus asked a great question in the chat room about whether or not, if he's chosen 5 MSA Master Student Activities and he doesn't see it, the due date of an activity is not one that he's chosen, can he skip it? And the answer is yes. So please look out for the 5 that you have chosen to complete, and you're only responsible for completing those 5. At the end of the semester, I will drop the lowest scores so that what's remaining is only what you're responsible for. 3 activities in area A and 1 in area B. However, if you had planned on completing an activity and you missed the deadline for that activity, you are more than welcome to choose another one from that list. That's why there are more activities than you're responsible for, so that if you miss one, you're able to time manage yourself and get back on track by choosing a different one. So this course, remember, this course is really laid out so that you can refocus yourself and get yourself back on track whenever if you do poorly on a test. You can review your study habits. You can review your study guide. You can chat with other students in the class to find out what they've done to do well in the chat box or in the discussion forum where you'll be posting your study guides. This is a great way for you to reflect and review on your own study habits and test-taking habits so that by the next test, you may do better. It shouldn't affect your overall score to not do well on a test. And I've done that on purpose. The stakes are low for that reason. So please use this time wisely. Please don't scale through this, just doing minimal amounts of work. You're going to get out of this course what you put into it. So what I see so far are very attentive, well thought out responses from the majority of students in our class. So that tells me that you are taking your time and you're doing your work on time and preparing ahead of time. And many of you are so busy and have multiple classes and children and other responsibilities. So I commend you for that. And really, I encourage you to continue doing that because you will see a major difference by the end of this semester. I can promise you that. I've seen it every semester that I've taught this course. So with that, I'm going to end this video. If you have any questions or emails, as always, or you can send me a remind, let me know, or put it here in this chat box for your classmates. Please check this. Get into the habit of checking the chat box for the questions of your classmates who need your help. And I will be seeing you next week. Thanks so much. Take care. Let me get out of here. This always takes me a while. All right. Bye, everyone. Have a great week.